Good morning, you're welcome to another beautiful edition of the show. My name is Yinka Kenny. The show is Bumper Breakfast. With me in the studio rather. This morning is
Kayode Adelaya. Good morning to all of you out there.
All right, good to see you, and I must say you're looking charming.
Good to see you, thank you, and you're always looking glamorous.
All right. This morning I cannot but talk about the flood, and flooding things that is happening.
The flood is a big menace right now. In Nigeria, many lives are lost already today, and we don't know where to start from. We don't know who to blame. People are apportioning blames to the government, some apportioning the blame to the citizens.
Who else to blame? Okay, probably it will just be in the right place to say that it is a collective effort.
It is a collective effort.
But then the people are saying that the federal government is not it's not bothered about what's happening,
because there is nothing more for them to do right now. What they should have done would have been years back, where our dam was to have been, created and everything. Cameroon did this, and it was expected of Nigeria for us to have also been able to, set up the boundaries for this water and all that. But right now it's late, and it's going to take a whole lot for us to be able to work on this again.
Okay, all right, but my question now is that should the government, the citizen, just fold their hands? Do we just fold our hands and
well, of course,
because things are happening, the government cannot just fold their hands and watch. People are dying. People are. And now we are since I think 2 days ago, yesterday, there had been warnings also in Lagos about residents at Ikoyi Access,
Ikoyi VI,
and oh my God,
honestly, yes.
I just don't want to imagine.
And the government came up to say that is a fake news, because there was a video going around of the Third Mainland Bridge where the water was almost getting to the brink, and the government came to say that was towards Oworo-Shoki access and all that. So, fake news, we should learn to manage this so that people don't start living in fear.
Yeah, but when the government said it is towards Oworo-Shoki, we're still talking. Is Oworo-Shoki now part of Third Mainland? I don't know. I stand to be corrected.
Of course. So we don't know exactly what they're saying. They're trying to remove the fear from the heart of the people.
Yeah, which is the right thing to do.
The right thing.
But then while trying to remove the fear from the heart of the people, there should be some measures taken to prevent, because these are natural disasters. These are things that, and it's just unfortunate. You know what is going on in Bayelsa State now. A lot of people are, running for their dear lives. Almost all the communities are threatened, are faced, not even threatened now. They are faced with flood and issues of floods. It's so sad.
It's so sad, really. I saw a picture yesterday, of some young folks who were sleeping on the street in Bayelsa because the flood has made them homeless.
Honestly, a friend of mine, the son had to, leave Bayelsa, and come to Lagos. Of course, he has somewhere to go to. A lot of people, that is where they know, that is all their life. That is so. I think government is.
I don't know what we're going to. I don't know what we're going to do eventually.
And I'm sure it's going to be in the papers today. And the presidency, giving ultimatum of 90 days to bring some. A prevention plan. It's in the papers today. Maybe we'll talk about it when we go through the papers.
When the people in Bayelsa are trying to elope and come down to Lagos, and now in Lagos the fear is already coming to there, so we don't know where to run to.
Personally, well, I'm not an expert, but I know that it's just it was going to come. It was going to happen.
Definitely, Lagos is surrounded with water, so I think we should be.
It was just a matter of time.
A matter of time, exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. And if we have visionary, if we've had visionary leaders, they would have seen all of this coming and put up, you know, prevention measures and all that. But now, it's kind of late. But
it's almost it's just unfortunate what's happening now in the country with the fuel scarcity. Yes, for several weeks it's been fuel scarcity, you know, right down there at Abuja and some other part of the country. But now I don't know what's happening in Lagos, if they are hoarding the fuel or we really have scarcity. We do not know. All the fear of scarcity is making the dealers hoard the petrol.
Of course. A friend of mine called me last week who works with a rice company and said flood has, you know, destroyed all of their farmlands, and now the price of rice is just
we talked about all of that yesterday. You now look at everything. We just pray that we do not have a standstill at one point in time, because as it is, gas is getting more expensive, and LNG is saying something about, you know, going to stop. Well, they are trying to, you know, see to that now. Gas is on the increase. Kerosene is definitely on the increase.
Kerosene, the only hope of the common man.
We say it's the hope of common man. Now, petrol is something that now in Lagos is beginning to be, is scarce, not even beginning to be scarce. It's scarce now. Now we talk about, you know, floods and floods everywhere in Lagos. Lagosians are beginning to get, you know, anticipate flood now in any time. I don't know, all of this, nothing seems to be working. It's just unfortunate.
I saw a comment yesterday where someone said maybe God is trying to punish Nigeria for all our sins, but no. That is wrong to assume. That is wrong to say.
We just put religion into everything. I strongly feel that our government, they have failed to be proactive in all of this, because looking at the flood issues, Cameroon talked about it right from the beginning, that they were going to open up their dam. Right from the beginning of the year, we sat down, we did not do anything. We can go on and on to talk about it. We just hope that the government of the day will do something and about all of this and ease the suffering of the masses.
And putting out relief materials is not going to be the solution, because people are not just asking for relief materials. They're going to have the relief materials, but the flood will still keep being a problem.
Okay, let's see what the papers they have got for us this morning. And I'm starting off with the Nigerian Tribune this morning. Yes, it's about the flood and flooding matters. The lead story is Give Me Prevention Plan in 90 days. Buhari directs minister, and Lagos government alerts residents in Ikoyi, VI, Lekki, Ekpe to lagoon backflow due to high tide. And over 400 people homeless in Kogi communities. Pandev sets up community to help victims in Niger Delta. And the very sad story that broke out yesterday, almost towards the end of the day last night. Father breaks 8-week-old son's hand for disturbing his sleep. I just could not. I had to read over and over and over again to be sure that this is not fake news. I just cannot imagine. The mother of the child, 20-year-old, I think she went out to, you know, ease herself, and the father, I don't know, I don't understand. And after seeing the damage he did, he locked them inside the house. And well, I think the following day or maybe 2 days later, she found a way to escape, but unfortunately, it was too late for the child. They had to amputate the child's hand. Honestly, it's a sadness. And as at yesterday, well, I wouldn't know what the papers are saying today. The father is still on the run.
Of course, it will definitely be on the run. But you can't do something as wicked as that.
We can just pray and hope that the hands of the Lord catches up with him. All right, gunmen kidnap driver, 10 passengers in Benue. Smugglers kill custom officer, injures 3 others in Kwara State, and 3 brothers, one other in court for beating a Amotekun official in Ondo State. And 10,296 Nigerian trained doctors now practicing in the United Kingdom. That's a statement from the National Medical Association, NMA. Says country experiencing its worst brain drain in history. And the worst thing that can happen to someone in Nigeria now is to fall sick.
You can say that again.
Honestly, it's above the nameplate. We have Wike talking politics. Why I won't campaign for Atiku. He has finally broke the camel's back. All right, Nigeria will break if APC wins presidency in 2023. That's coming from Edo State Governor Obaseki. I really do not know I do not understand what he meant by that statement. And finally, above the nameplate, we have 42-year-old Rishi Sunak is first Hindu to become UK Prime Minister. We can only wish him best of luck.
And not to resign in the next 45 days again. All right, on the Nation's newspaper this morning, 2023, Wike rejects Atiku. Rivers governor vows not to campaign for PDP standard bearer. Inaugurate council for Rivers party candidates. APC tackles PDP chieftain over remarks on Tinubu's action plan. I think that is all about that from the Nation's.
And I quickly run through the Punch newspaper this morning. The lead story here is U.S. terror alert. Atiku, Tinubu, Obi demand security beef up. Reject campaign suspension. And the riders are PDP, Labour Party tax security agencies on supporters protection at rallies. Police issue advisory. Ask parties to fortify campaign venues to forestall attacks. We are on top of the situation that's coming from defense headquarters. I hope we can take all of that to the bank this morning. And there APC PCC is saying there is no cause for alarm. And the picture story. Jazani forfeits Abuja mansions, luxury cars to federal government. 1,296 Nigerian doctors practicing in UK. NME laments. And I think above the nameplates we have floods. Buhari demands action plan by ESA Girls donation, and the Minister of Finance saying external debt rises to $40 billion. No, it's a report, not a statement by the Minister of Finance. External debt rises to $40 billion under Buhari. I rest my case on that. What do we have in the back?
All right, the lead story coming from the Guardian this morning. Women threaten boycott to engage Tinubu, Atiku, Obi, and others. Terror alert. Experts urge FG to tighten security around soft targets. Federal government, why we don't want Kanu released. Arrest attackers of Jandor, Akindele campaign train, PDP tells police. Government dares foreign airlines to shut down operations, threatens reciprocity. That's all about the Guardian this morning.
And we go on a short break now. When we return, we will bring you the recap of the news. Stay with us. We will be right back.
Do you have continuity or association plan for your business?
Has anyone shared the concept of sustainability with you?
What about the need to protect the rights of minority shareholders?
What are those ingredients germane to having effective meetings?
For these and many more, tune in to Corporate Governance Platform every Thursday on MITV, your darling station, on DSTV 255 and UHF 43. at 4:30 p.m.
Corporate Governance Platform is your best medium for informative and educative strategies for the practice of the corporate governance profession.
Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria, ICSAN, the hub of governance professionals.
Here for the show-stopping magic of a moment.
Get DSTV Compact with an HD decoder plus dish kit for only 14,900 Naira to watch all 64 matches. Here for every fan.
Welcome back. The show is Bumper Breakfast. We give you the news recap right now.
All right, on the news recap, starting from the proceedings this morning. President Muhammadu Buhari has called on all nations, multilateral and donor agencies to support global financing of media and information literacy to fight fake news and misinformation. The president made the call on Monday in Abuja when he declared open the UNESCO Global Media and Information Literacy Week with the theme, Nurturing Trust, a media and information literacy imperative. The Abuja Declaration, according to him, will center on global financing for media and information literacy as an imperative to fight misinformation and build trust in the societies.
Okay, the former Speaker, House of Representatives Dimeji Bankole, has blamed the high turnover of legislators in Nigeria on overbearing influence of governors. Bankole made this known on Monday while delivering a lecture titled Legislative Turnover and Effects on Institution Building and National Development at the 6th convocation ceremony of the National Institute of for Legislative and Democratic Studies, NILDS, Uniben Postgraduate and HND programs in Abuja. The leadership of the National Assembly, Senator Ahmed Lawan and Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila implored the graduates to be patriotic, diligent, and be committed to nation building.
Expenditure in Nigerian finances. That has also been rising. Okay? Can you see that? That's also been rising. Now, let me tell you something. The most important aspect of governance is not Abuja. Abuja doesn't know what is happening in your community back home. Abuja can never know what is coming, what is happening. So therefore, the legislator that matters most to all of us is that councillor. That councillor that there are no records of where they are. Proper records anyway.
Today's convocation, therefore, is a testimony that NILS is on the right track vis-a-vis its mandate to build and strengthen the capacities of democratic institutions and actors in our country. As such, occasions like this, not only for celebration, it also demands a critical analysis of the journey to underscore achievements, opportunities, and limitations. It is gratifying that the NILS Uniben program has been able to deliver on its core mandates.
We are here to celebrate the graduating class, and today is about them. Therefore, I will avoid falling into the politician's habit of making every occasion an opportunity for speech making. Before I cede the microphone, I wish to share a few words with the graduates. Many of you already have careers in public service, and others will at some point be called to serve our country in one capacity or the other. I urge you always to remember that the task of nation building succeeds through the dedicated efforts of citizens working in every capacity to ensure the nation lives up to its potential.
The HND program is intended to address the needs of the lower and middle level staff of the National Assembly and the legislature as a whole. This will build a pool of competent staff and members to enhance international and group practices in the discharge of their duties. The task of building a world-class institute like NILS certainly does not come easy. Our efforts in keeping to the mandate and the dreams of the founding members have received enormous goodwill and support from many quarters, especially in the last 3 years.
Not only are the programs offered by the Institute relevant to the social political needs of our dear country, the faculties and manpower that have been provided by the authorities are cutting edge and second to none. At this convocation ceremony, therefore, the graduates have very good reason to be very proud that they have received best training in learning and character.
All right, now let's go to the ASU report. The president of the Academic Union of Universities, ASU, Professor Emmanuel Oshodike, says the union called off the 8-month-old strike action and trust. The union said that the acceptance of the IPPIS as opposed to their demand of UTAS as the payment platform was done on a temporary basis. Basically, an interim measure pending when a formal agreement would be reached with the federal government. Oshodike spoke at a meeting with the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, which was a follow-up on the agreements reached on the previous meetings held before the suspension of the strike. But in a swift reaction, the Speaker, Gbajabiamila, who had earlier said that the meeting was called to follow up on the issues discussed, faulted the claims of the ASU president, saying that the agreement reached was not on temporary basis.
ASU, let bygones be bygones. Let us move forward on how to resolve the issues. The Accountant General has said, if I hear you correctly, that by January, February, you'll be done with this. That's the timeline you've given us. You said 3 months. Starting from maybe 1st of November, let's just say. Yeah, so January, February, everything would have been sorted. So it is now subject to them cooperating and submitting the list of peculiarities that are associated with the universities. President.
Strike we call off. Our members also do it on trust on us, because we didn't have anything we presented to them. Because just for the trust. And the way they have seen the speaker, the 3 meetings, and the way we are going, it on that basis they agree we're able to convince them. So I think that we also look at other issues and reach a very meaningful conclusion on them. We are not saying this because of the interest of our members, but because of the interest of a country called Nigeria. It is very vital. Our education is in their need of all sorts of things. Most importantly, human resources.
That was why we were saying that wouldn't it be better for the country Nigeria to develop its own software so that the access will be unfettered within the country? And then you will now be in a position to control whatever information flows in and flows out.
Let us also stop going into this whole argument that IPPIS is a foreign software. No, it is not. It is locally designed. Okay, it is done by Soft Alliance Nigeria Limited. They are Nigerians. So I don't know where this argument is coming from. Okay, so one last point, Mr. Speaker. Okay, now, all of these arguments behind. Now, ASU and your leadership and your members, I'm begging you, I'm pleading with you. Please come over. If now we are unable to do it, if when we stand and then we are unable, then come back and report to them that we can't do it.
Welcome back. In the studio with me right now, I have Elder Statesman. I will call him Elder Statesman Akin Fatunke. He is a fellow of ICANN and communications trainer to analyze what the ASU and the federal government, what is going on between them, with us this morning. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning. Kenny, and good morning, Kayode. When you were introducing me, I thought you were also going to introduce me as a partaker in education. I'm the president of the Baptist Academy of Students Association. Nice to discuss here.
Welcome, sir. So it's been for several months, ASU was on strike, and recently ASU decided to call off its strike. And since the call off of the strike, temporarily though, since the call off of the strike, there had been a lot of back and forth on the agreement reached between ASU and the federal government. And now there is a new development. ASU is saying, the Accountant General of the nation is saying that ASU should please give the government a benefit of doubt. And it's been the issue of the IPPIS. And, well, the federal government is saying they will try to modify the IPPIS in the period of 3 months. It's been so much back and forth. What's your take on all of this?
Oh, my take is something simple, that we may think that we have won the battle, but I like to say that the battle is left the war region. Naturally, for realists, you'll be told this will just be as temporary and as permanent, depending on which side you belong. Why? Because the fulcrum, the linchpin, the rising the tap, the real cost before you begin to look at effects, we are still tinkering with it. We are not looking at it as critically as possible. If after 8 months we are coming back and we are still having this bit of brick back, it tells you, I'm not surprised. I am personally not surprised, because as he said, no two sides win an argument. And as Albert Einstein really pointedly put it, it is only a mad man or woman that will continue to do something one way and expecting different results. We haven't decided as a country to bite the bullet as regards university autonomy, tuition paying, and what have you. And in saying this, let me quickly and respectfully recognize Chief Afe Babalola at the graduation ceremony of one of the best, easily one of the best schools that we have, tertiary institution we have. A few not too long ago still called and pleaded for government funding. I disagree with their professor. It is just not possible anymore in this day and age for us to be feeling, I'm pushing hard now, I'm pushing hard, and I know a lot of students are going to be thrown at me, to still believe that tuition in federal universities will be subsidized or near nil. Professor Yitokwe, the immediate past Vice Chancellor of University of Ife, painted a picture and said, say at University of Ife, when he was there in the 70s, was paying 90 naira, and today you are still paying 90 naira. The receipt that you are going to use to acknowledge the fact that you are paying 90 naira is going to be much more than what you are paying. Little reason why we are where we are at. IPPIS and UTAS, I remember around about this time precisely last year, The Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, where we had the Accountant General's office, was there, and then we have university lecturers were all there, and we were all brainstorming at a retreat where we were trying to develop, curriculum for our upcoming students. And I was told practically the kind of rot that we have in the ASU inscribed system, whereby moonlighting, ghost walking was in there. And I remember a professor there told me, look, we have this better UTAS. Why are we not looking at it? And for the life of me as an accountant, because that's my work is to reconcile between A and B. There will always be difference between A and B. And I said, look, okay, so why don't we look for an arbiter that will sit down, check the SWOT, that's the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and weaknesses that we have on one, and then compare to the others, and then do a kind of a bridge. That was where I now realized that, wait, people were just ready to continue to dig in. Until we hit the heart of the matter, which is that in 2023 upcoming, and here I have sympathies for whoever is going to be the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, whoever still has to come back and confront this issue. University education cannot continue the way they are, and strikes and perennial strikes all the time on this is what we should pay, this is the infrastructure that we lack, and what else. You will have been hearing this happen elsewhere. But the only reason why it is not happening elsewhere is because they have gone beyond this mundane. In the US, for instance, there is the Hope Scholarship, Help for Outstanding Students Educationally, HOPE. And what does that do? It helps to say, if Kenny is a brighter student than myself, and she's educationally disadvantaged, she will be subsidized by a scholarship fund that's going to be set out amongst much more, other companies and well-honed individuals.
We know.
That
sorry.
will put her in there, or the sin tax that will take 1% of the tax of what we call sin companies.
Okay, we know about all of the structures put in place by countries, foreign countries, but here in Nigeria we have some peculiarities. Do you think we are ripe enough for all of this? And do you think that ASU is right on its argument on IPPIS?
Well, again, Kenny, before you throw me under the bus, and I think you are doing your job very well here. First of all, I honestly want to disagree that we have peculiar problems in Nigeria. We have peculiar problems in Nigeria, and I have a feel of what we are trying to talk about. We are poor, people from poor homes, and what have you, and all that kind of
We
stuff.
do not have data also.
So who asked you not to have data? Who asked you not to have the data to be able to measure?
But a step in time.
I agree with you that you have to be able to measure what we want to manage. But we have deliberately done that because of the corruption that we have in the system. So that's number one. The Rwanda have data in 1994 or pre-1994. Then they decided that they were going to start to put data together. Nigerian statisticians were among the very first that went in there to help them set up. And then physician, you cannot not heal your own. So that is number one. Secondly, we must have the data like you said. And Kenny, let me be very honest with you. We may not have the data, but we know what we know. Emotional intelligence tells us a couple of things. For instance, Kenny, I know that you might have gone to a public school. But I also know that your son, out of your own choice, have decided to go to a private school. At that time, I'm not looking at you as being a big challenge. If you could pay that in private schools, because you didn't have the confidence in the public schools, and you paid his way through, and your son, by the grace of God, comes out flying in high color. And I keep on saying, no, on the mandate of this, we are going to stand. And my own son decides to go to
some people will not come for your neck with that.
Let them come for the way of me. Fruit is bitter. And then for 8 months, what comes out of my own daughter? My own daughter comes out with a pregnancy because she's not in school. Who is paying for who is lying to who?
Okay.
At the heart of the whole of this is what we call trust. If I prescribing this and I'm a public official, I'm a government official, and I decide to send my children out there, and then I keep on saying this, just using words of mouth. Trust is the deficit. We must plug it. We must show example by exactly what we try to do, and back to where we are. Gbajabiamila, Femi Gbajabiamila, that I keep on clapping for whatever reason, to help him to stem this war that we have, also knows within himself that the battle is still going to rage.
All right, thank you so much.
And the only way that we can get out of it is to get all of us on the round table, get a neutral arbiter, make sure we do the things that we need to do. We're talking about data, population census. Let's know who we are. Let's begin to control population. And let's begin to now then say to ourselves, yes, we are going to subsidize education only for people who really need it.
All right, thank you so much, sir. We have to go on right now. Still on the news recap this morning, we move on to judicial matters. Justice Mobolaji Olajuwon of the Federal High Court, Abuja, yesterday, Monday, October 24th, 2022, ordered the final forfeiture of 2 Abuja properties and 2 luxury cars belonging to a former minister of Petroleum Resources, Dezani Alison Madueke, to the federal government. In a statement on the Facebook page of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, the 2 properties located in the Ibro, Asokoro, and Maitama districts of Abuja are said to be valued at $2.67 USD and 380 million naira respectively. The luxury cars are black BMW saloon, and a black Jaguar saloon car is valued at 36 million naira. The commission had on November 29, 2021 secured the interim forfeiture on the assets in a ruling on separate motion ex parte filed on the 27th of September 2021, which paid the court to order the interim forfeiture of the assets on the grounds of reasonable suspension that they were proceeds of unlawful activities. I want to take your reaction on that right now. We say, obviously, well, let me not use the word obviously. It seems to be as if the former Minister of Nigeria for Petroleum Resources, Alison Madueke, it seems to be as if she has resigned to fate that she's not coming back to Nigeria. Or, sometimes ago, we heard that she was sick somewhere, but no news about her. Federal government isn't making attempts to bring her back to the country. She has properties, a lot of properties that the court has said, has declared that those properties were gained unlawfully. Now, why do you think that the federal government is not making moves to repatriate this former minister?
I don't think it will be 100% correct to move to ask her to come back. Come on, this alleged malfeasance that has happened in that country. think international law observes the fact that she is abroad and ran away from the harshly FCC and federal government that was perceived as not being fair. And then, of course, naturally, the UK court kept on doing years. But in the meantime, we had
Papa, mama, brother, sister, this Lagos must work for all of us. Everybody ja fun Eko.
Oh yes, Lagos people, papa, mama, sister, brother, auntie, plus including uncle them. Better don't land for Lagos State gidigba. Money wey be for Lagos State, then go use them for Lagos State. Wella, no more baba sope. They no go chop Lagos State money. Nobody go pocket Lagos State. Then go take and build Lagos State, build road, build hospital, build houses, and now only one man fit do this job. His name na Abdulaziz Olajide Adediran Jandor. He can't carry one ogbonge person as the deputy governor. Her name na Funke Akindele. My people, what do we wait for? Make we vote for light, vote for change. No be the kind change where they vote before. This one na the original change. How Amumu don't do? Pay they pay.
Everybody ja fun Eko.
Here for the show-stopping magic of a moment.
Get DSTV Combat with an HD decoder plus dish kit for only 14,900 Naira to watch all 64 matches, here for every fan.
Do you have continuity or association plan for your business?
Has anyone shared the concept of sustainability with you?
What about the need to protect the rights of minority shareholders?
What are those ingredients germane to having effective meetings?
For these and many more, tune into Corporate Governance Platform every Thursday on MITV, your darling station, on DSTV 255 and UHF 43 at 4:30 p.m.
Corporate Governance Platform is your best medium for informative and educative strategies for the practice of the corporate governance profession.
Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria, ICSAN, the hub of governance professionals.